Let's go next to, who is this? Let's go to Brendan in New York. Brendan, welcome to the program. What can I do for you today?
Hey, David. I had a question about, I guess, Qasem Soleimani. With the recent, I guess, news in the Middle East, different things going on. I find it surprising that the assassination of Qasem Soleimani doesn't come up more as either, I don't know, something playing into the events going on, or if it doesn't play into the events going on, is that not itself kind of a significant thing? And so I guess my question is, do you think that, do you agree, is it underrepresented in the media today? What do you think, looking back now, I think it's like 4 years later,
Yeah.
what happened? And how do you sort of think about your own coverage at the time in comparison to where it sits now?
Well, listen, I'm open to the idea that the assassination of Quds Force leader Qasem Soleimani during the Trump presidency is affecting what's happening in the Middle East today. I'm just not exactly sure what you have in mind. I mean, in some general role, in some general sense, Soleimani had a role in expanding Iran's influence. And to the extent that Iran supports Hamas and probably helped fund and plan the October 7th terrorist attacks, there's a connection. But the assassination of Soleimani, I'm just not really sure. I mean, what do you have in mind specifically as to how the two would be related?
I mean, in the hypothetical, I don't know, but I guess I'm surprised that I don't see more in the discussion. Like you kind of just made the line connection to Hamas and stuff. I'm surprised that in a lot of these debates you don't hear more about that, or in
Well, I
thinking
guess in order
about.
to make, let me say this, Brendan, in order to make the
Mhm.
connection, you'd have to argue that his death either slowed down Iran's influence in the area or created some acceleration. Like, what's the argument you would make if you made such an argument?
Sure. So let's say that I'm an anti-Trump person and I support the Palestinian cause somewhat, and I'm debating some kind of like Trumpy type person
Yep.
on Patrick Bet David show or whatever. And I go, oh, well, you're saying that Trump wants to avoid all war. He killed Qasem Soleimani and possibly launched us into the conflict we're now in, or that Israel is now in. Maybe that wouldn't have happened if not for those types of actions. I'm surprised that I haven't seen many folks either say things like that or play into the conversation. I think the other way,
I mean,
if
hold
if
on
you
on
were
that one,
saying,
Brendan. Hold on. Let me say on that one, I don't really buy that one, to be totally honest. I don't think I have not seen any evidence of that.
yeah, but I see many bad arguments online all the time, so I'm surprised that I don't see that one. Like
Okay.
I hear you, like it's not necessarily, that's not an argument I agree with, but I'm
Yeah.
surprised that I don't see it.
All
That's my
right.
point.
Fair. And then what was the other one?
Oh, I'm sorry. So if you were going the other way, it's you could almost make an interesting argument of at the time people might have thought that this was an outlandish action from Trump, but if we look at the current scenario, folks are saying this is the first step to war with Iran. We're not at war with Iran, and so maybe the argument they make is that it was an effective action.
That's interesting. I think the reason we're not hearing either argument is for exactly the reason you mentioned. These are not super strong arguments. I think it's a couple layers removed. I don't think anybody would take the arguments super seriously. And that's probably why we're not hearing them.
Fair enough.
All right, Brendan from
I
New York, thank you so much for the call. I appreciate it. You may remember a few years ago, the show got hacked and several $1,000s were stolen. We never got it back. But now I have a lot more peace of mind because we use Aura. Our sponsor, Aura, is the all in one tool to protect your online and financial accounts. Aura alerts you anytime your personal info is found on the dark web or in data breaches, could be social security number, logins, financial accounts. You will get very fast alerts if a criminal does something like try to open up a bank account in your name, take out credit in your name. Aura will also monitor your bank accounts, your home and auto titles, which can help to guard against fraud. And Aura even protects your phone by letting you block and screen spam calls and texts. Aura has parental controls for your kids' devices to restrict apps, manage screen time, set focus time. You can try Aura free for 14 days at aura.com/Pacman. It only takes a few seconds to use the free trial to see if your username and passwords have been leaked online. The link is down below.